spoiler warning, this is a chapter 1096 review, let's get into it. The chapter starts off with the Celestial Dragons tournament commencing, and we're introduced to other holy knights besides Rizzaland Galling. I have to say the designs are looking pretty cold. We have one guy here who's trying his best to protect himself from the coronavirus, and you have someone else who's giving off York vibes, which is interesting. Oda is doing a good job at portraying how the holy knights are complete opposites to the revolutionaries. The holy knights are out here killing slaves whilst the revolutionaries are saving them. This is definitely setting up a future potential conflict between the two factions. Next we see Kong calling Garp, who's on holiday with some chicks. I mean, you can't tell me that Garp isn't the coldest marine behind Volgod. Kong basically tells Garp to get his ass to God Valley, which Garp refuses at first. But here Garp says something interesting. He says that the Celestial Dragons took the crown jewel from Pirate Island, which is why the Rocks pirates are on their way to God Valley. Now I have a small theory on what I think this crown jewel is, but I'll leave that for later in the video. Eventually Garp leaves his hoes behind and heads towards God Valley after finding out that Roger is also making his way towards there, which implies that these two have a history even before this moment. Next we see Ivankov trying to explain to the slaves that they basically have a 0% chance of survival and that they need to escape. I don't know if you noticed this, but this fishman looks a lot like Hack, who later joined the Revolutionary Army. I mean, it's like dragons only handing out job applications to slaves who are at God Valley. But they come to the conclusion that in order to escape, they need either the Ua Ua no Mi or the Pawpaw fruit, which are both prizes in this tournament. Now let's take a moment to understand that this little girl is one of the main reasons why the God Valley incident even happened, because it's revealed that she leaked information to the pirates 2 weeks before. I mean, damn. Next we have one of the most hypest panels in the whole series, the Rocks pirates standing side by side as they prepare to land on God Valley. We got man like Rizbeard, who's honestly speaking to Rocks like how the Straw Hats speak to Luffy, calling him an idiot. They're all after the same treasure, which could be the crown jewel of Pirate Island or the devil fruit prizes of the tournament. It's looking more likely they're after the devil fruit prizes, as Kaido says here it would be useless in Big Mom's hands, implying that they're all after the devil fruits. We also get the reveal that Gloriosa was a member of the Rocks pirates, with it being likely that she fell in love with Rocks, which is why she left Amazon Lily and was deemed a traitor. When Kaido was referring to Roger here, his dialogue got cut off, but what I think he was going to say is that he's the one person he's afraid of, because in this panel here it says that 10 years after the God Valley incident took place, Kaido became the embodiment of might, which suggests that he might have shown fear or hesitation during this battle, which led to his defeat. But now we got the Roger pirates turning up with the future Pirate King and Prime Rayleigh. Roger says, "Do you have any idea how I felt this past year?" which could be referring to the fact that Roger reached Lodestar last year and he discovered the existence of a final island. An island which Roger could not reach, which is why he's now had to drastically change his ambitions to finding the poneglyph so that he could get to this place. And just like that, we get the hero of the Marines pulling up alongside Garp. Nah, but for real, I'm just hyped that Volgod is here. Ivankov was this close to eating Kaido's future devil fruit before Big Mom stopped him, but Kuma managed to eat his one, the Pawpaw fruit. And just like that, Kuma gets confronted by Saturn himself. Kuma drops some of the most realist lines in the story, basically saying that everyone should be born equal, and now that he's obtained a new power, he's gonna save as many people as he possibly can, just like the Sun God himself. Now this moment was cut short by what looks to be the clash between Roger and Rocks, and I do think that Saturn was forced into fighting here. When Saturn confronted Kuma, Big Mom was standing right there, and I don't think there's any way that no one would be able to sense Saturn's presence on the island. I mean, we saw how many top tiers were on Egghead, but they still managed to sense Saturn's presence, saying that he has a strange aura. And I do think Saturn's presence on God Valley was one of the main reasons why this incident has been erased from history. But focusing on the Egghead arc, I do think that Oda's adding more depth in the relationship between Kuma and Saturn, with it being more likely that Kuma will arrive on Egghead to confront him. But now the God Valley incident has ended in this flashback, and we see everyone has escaped to the Sorbet Kingdom thanks to Kuma's powers. The goat saved over 500 lives, and Ivankov labels his new powers as the Hands of Liberation, which I think just reinforces the idea that Kuma is on the right path to fulfilling his dream, which is to save people like Nika. Ivankov then heads off to sea, and this farewell message from Kuma hits hard. It just makes the interaction during Marineford even sadder. Now Kuma and Ginny are making a living in the Sorbet Kingdom and they're finally at peace, which drives them to tears. Now let me make one thing clear, I don't think Ginny is the mother of Bonnie, rather Bonnie is a clone of her. And that's mainly because Saturn says here that Kuma is the last survivor of the Buccaneer race. If Bonnie was the biological daughter of Kuma, then surely she would have Buccaneer blood in her. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Is Bonnie the daughter of Ginny or she a clone of her? I'm not gonna lie, I completely forgot about the crown jewel of Pirate Island theory, so I'm just gonna add it in here. Basically, I think that the crown jewel of Pirate Island is the egg on Roger's ship. Let me explain. Garp says that the celestial dragons took the crown jewel from Pirate Island, but what if I told you that someone within the Rocks pirates betrayed Rocks by giving it to them, so that the Rocks pirates would go to God Valley to try take it back, which would eventually lead to their demise, and for this person to take over. And the person who I think is behind this elaborate plan is none other than the gold lion Shiki. Not only would it be well within his parameters, being the cunning and planning type of character he is, but we saw just how ambitious his plans were after the disbandment of the Rocks pirates. Shiki wanted Rocks out of the way so he could take the power for himself, the power of the egg, which is likely linked to the ancient weapon Uranus. Roger would end up getting the ancient weapon which Shiki was after, which makes sense given the timeline. A year before the God Valley incident took place, Roger discovered the existence of a final island. This made Roger do more research on the final island, which led him to the poneglyphs and likely the people of O'Hara. Within this year, Roger learnt of the existence of the ancient weapons, and he was on God Valley to claim one for himself, the ancient weapon Uranus, which was otherwise known as the crown jewel of Pirate Island. In the present storyline, when we do come to the topic of the ancient weapon Uranus, I do think this would be the time to bring Shiki back and to confirm this theory. So for this video, this is the first time I'm using the Blue Yeti microphone, so let me know how it sounds and if there's any improvements I can make with it. But that's it from me, I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, then please subscribe. Next week I'm dropping a new video, so don't miss that. But I'll see you guys then.